Hello everyone, Mr. Minnick's my name, math is my game. Today I'm joined by a real live audience. This is my first period Algebra 2 class. They're all excited about getting set up with MXLFS. So we're going to look at two different situations. Some of you might remember all of your login information. In that event, we're going to use an old login. Some of you might not remember your old login, and in that case, we're going to be creating an entirely new one. So we'll go through both cases. The goal for today is to get set up. Once we get set up, then we'll take a look around. So first things first, you want to make sure you go to the correct website. If you're doing a Google search, it's not MathExcel.com. Okay. Last year I had several, not seven, but several students say to me, Mr. Minnick, it says I need to re-enroll in class. Well, it's because they're going to the wrong website. There is a MathExcel.com. We're going to MathExcel and then the preposition for, FORschool.com. Okay. So we got to make sure we're going to the right website. So we want to go to MathExcel4School.com. MathExcel4School.com. There it is. It's the website with the image of the young lady here. Now, some of you might have been still using a familiar computer, and you're automatically going to the sign-in screen. If you are, you won't see the register screen over here. Okay. So let's just go ahead and get started by running through the scenario with using an old login. Okay, we'll do that first. If you're using an old login, what I'd like you to do is to go ahead and click sign in if you think you remember your information. I had a student account last year. Don't make fun of it. It doesn't stand for stud. I don't think I'm a stud. It's just my student account, okay? So there's my username and my password. I know I remember it. So if you know your password, know your your username, go ahead and try signing in and let's see what happens. So I'm going to try to sign in. It gives me check marks and it says, you know, either your subscription has expired or that course is no longer in session. So we're going to need to create something new. Did everybody get to that screen all right? So if you remember your login and user information, awesome. Awesome. Okay. If not, we'll come back and take care of that in a minute. Okay, so we'll go ahead and click OK from here. And I'm actually going to have to go back, I think. So if you know your login, your username, and your password, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and register as a student. Okay, we're going to register as a student. And there's this license. If you want to take 3 hours and read all the fine print, you're welcome to. I'm going to go ahead and hit accept because I accept this. Now, since we remember our login information, it says, do you have a person account? Well, I remember my login information, so yes, I do. Login name. Well, my login name, I'll go ahead and put that in. I don't know if it's got that right password there, so I'm going to put in my password. Okay. And now it's asking for an access code. So at this time, I'll distribute access codes. Please be careful with this access code. Don't give it to anybody else because it only works one time. The access code costs the school dozens of dollars, so please don't mess it up. They cost anywhere from $12 to $36 each, depending on how many I purchased at one time. So what I'm saying is, whatever access code you use, don't hand it off to your brother, your sister, your neighbor, because it's not going to work for them. It's only going to work one time. Okay? All right. Real quick, I'm going to give a shout out to the second period Algebra 2 class and a shout out to Miss Guy for watching this video as well. All right, so if you have an access code, it's going to have all kinds of letters on it. You don't need to hit shift. You don't need to worry about capitalizing. Just punch in your letters. Remember, you can't use the same one I'm using. It's the 16. It's a whole bunch of letters, right, in the top third of the page. So after you punch in those letters, you will have to tab over to the next box or use the arrow keys to get to the next box. Okay. I like when they use words that actually are words. I sing. All right. So once you have those letters, double check them before you hit next. Remember, this is only good one time, and it's good for 365 days. So I'm going to go ahead and click next. Google Chrome's asking me, do I want to memorize this? I'm going to, because I use this computer all the time. So this is real important right here. Some of you don't check your school email. What I want you to put in for the email address is the email that you check on a regular basis. In other words, if you have a Yahoo account that you check 25 times a day, use that email address. If you do check your school email, that's fine, and use that one. But I want you to use an email address that you're going to check regularly, okay? So put your name in, your first name, your last name, your email address. School location, we're in the United States. Our zip code's 44231. For school, we're going to have to put other. It's James A. Garfield High School in Garrettsville, and that is in the good state of OH. All right. We might be a little better next time on that one. Maybe contact you. I don't want you to contact me, so I'm going to go ahead and click next now. Everybody good to go? Questions, comments? So I'm clicking next. And we don't need to worry about putting this. If we made it to this screen, we did something right, we did something good. We're doing pretty good. So it gives me the option here to log in. What I'm going to do just to make sure I did this right, I'm not even going to click, well, I guess you could click that login, or you could go back to the login screen. I'll go ahead and click login and see what happens. And it went ahead and logged me in, and now I'm going to go to enter Math Excel for School. I'm going to enter Math Excel for School, and it says I'm already enrolled in statistics. Well, I don't want to work at statistics. I would like to work in a new course. Anybody else have a class already that's there? Okay. So let's go ahead and click Enroll in New Course. And now I'm going to have to distribute the course ID. Okay. So when I give you this course ID, what I'd like you to do, I'm not going to log in on your account and sabotage you. I'm not going to go in and take a test for you and get a 20%. I'd never do that. On occasion, I might actually randomly pick somebody and sign into their account and do their homework for them. Once or twice. So what I'd like from you is I'm going to give you the course registration code for this particular course, and I want you to record your username and password on it. I'm not going to share it. I'm not going to give it to your parents. I'm not going to give it to Mr. Dobrin. I'm going to put it in my filing cabinet, and it stays there till the end of the year. That way, if you forget your password, if you lose your password, whatever, I have it physically on record. Does that make sense? Please write legibly when you do that too. Okay, so at this time I'm going to go ahead and pass that out, and I'm going to give a shout out to the future Mr. Minnick. You're awesome. All right, so the different thing about this is when you enter this course code, it's not case sensitive. Don't have to worry about capitalizing. That's actually the same. So XL, last year, it's funny, true story, I had somebody from South America enroll in my class because he watched this video. Juan Mejida, if you're watching out there, Juan, I love you. You did all your homework. You're great. This one will cycle to the next box, so you don't have to press tab after you get the 4 alphanumeric, whatever code in there. Well, the interesting thing, too, is once you get a code in there, be sure to watch if it's an O or a 0. Zeros have a little slash through them. You should see, is this your course, Mr. Minnick? Algebra 2, PD 1. If it is, go ahead and click Enroll. And will say you are now enrolled in Mr. Minnick Algebra 2, PD 1, okay? And at that point, you're good to go, okay? So if you're good to go and you're familiar with Math Excel, there's an orientation homework. There's homework 1.2 and 1.6. Have at it. Make sure that you put your course ID sheet. You'll notice I put an asterisk on them with your username and your password legibly printed on that, and drop that in the box up here. That'd be awesome. I'd appreciate that. Questions about that part of it? Everybody good to go? Cool. So at this point in the video, what I'd like to do then is look at the second part, because maybe some of you forgot your user information, and so we're going to have to create a whole new login. Okay. So for those of you who are doing that, we're going to go through that process right about now. And I appreciate your cooperation and your patience and all that. So if you haven't gone to the correct website, the correct website again is MathXL4School.com. You might want to bookmark it. I think Chrome might actually go to it by default. MathXL4School.com. So in this case, we haven't ever had a MathXL account, and mine's actually going to the login, and I don't want the login. I need to go to MathXL4School. I'm not ready to log in. Okay. So we forgot our account from last year. We're making a new one, whatever the case may be. So here we're just going to go right to register, and we're going to register as a student. And we're going to have to accept all that. Do you have a Pearson account? No. Create a login name. Create a password. Oh, come on, really? Make sure you click that check availability box before you go on to the create the password part. Password, I don't know what you use for a password. I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4 is probably not a good idea, though. Invalid password. Oh, come on. Really? Oh, come on. Invalid. 8 characters with at least 1 capital and 1 number. Okay, let's try this again. All right, finally got one. 3 weeks later. Okay, retype my password. And now I'm ready for an access code. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pause the video and distribute the access code to people who need it. All right, so just like before now with this particular access code, we're going to go ahead and punch this in. Remember, on these, you don't have to worry about the caps. But you do have to cycle from box to box. I like to use the tab button. I like some of the words they use. Lapis. That sounds like a disease. I don't know. All right, so I got my access code. I'm going to go ahead and hit next. Remember, that access code's only good one time, so you don't want to mess that up. And we put in our email address. And we got to retype our email address. Remember, the email address that you should be putting in is the one that you check on a regular basis. And when we get to that part, we'll have to select our school. So our school is in the United States of America. Our zip code's 44231. And I hit enter. I probably should not have hit enter. Probably should not have hit enter. Hitting enter was not the best idea at that point. Next. And now I got to put all this information in again. Okay, we got that information in. School is in America. Zip code's 44231. Don't hit enter. School name, our school's not on the list. One of these years it will be. Our school name. Trinity Garfield High School, we're in Garrettsville, 2 R's, 2 T's, 2 L's, not necessarily in that order. Who do I sound like when I say that? And a security question that's going to be relative to just you. All right, so the security question, that's if you ever forget your password to get that back. And we're going to click next. And now we'll go ahead and log in. And again, now we're ready to, we never will have enrolled if we did this. So now we're going to be ready for that course ID. So we'll go ahead and pause the video and get those passed out. All right, so again with the course ID, we'll go ahead and put that information in. It's not case sensitive. We don't need to cycle from box to box. That automatically pops up. Watch out for O's and zeros. We go ahead and enroll, and that's it. We're in. Are there any questions about the process on either end? Questions? Comments? Well, I hope you enjoy this video. I hope it's useful. My first paid class would like to give a shout out to. Okay, apparently they don't get the concept of shout outs just yet. That's okay. They will. I'm going to give a shout out to everyone who's watching this, to my afternoon classes who are watching this. I'm sorry I'm playing it back, but I'm not going to do the same thing 7 times today. So have a great day. It's been real. It's been fun. I'll see you next time. Good.